Let's go to Nikola Jokic, Rob. And this dude is just, continuing to play phenomenal basketball. And it's interesting, a lot of the heat that he's caught has been because, he hadn't been to the finals. He got 2 MVP awards. Y'all want to give him 3, and he hasn't been to the NBA finals. And you brought this up with Durant, injuries and other things that happen that play into a guy not advancing. Well, it's been the same thing for Nikola Jokic. In the bubble, they went to the Western Conference Finals. And Jokic was just coming of age at that point. He was 24 years old. It was only his 5th NBA season. And, Rob, that year, he only averaged, it wasn't even quite 20 points a game. It was 19-9, and then below 10 rebounds, 9.7 rebounds, and 7 assists a game. So it was really like his second great year. He had some good years. It was his second year as an All-Star, but that was his second great year. And so they get to the conference finals, and everybody's on Jokic watch. And then the next season, he wins the MVP. I voted for him. 26, 11, and 8 he averaged. His numbers were ridiculous. Almost shot 40% from 3. Obviously, he was great from the line and from the field. He always is. But they go out early that year in the playoffs. They get swept in the second round by Phoenix. But alas, no Jamal Murray. All right, so that's a factor. And then the next season, he wins MVP again, and they get beat in 5 by Golden State. But alas, no Jamal Murray.
Right.
And so, look, you take away the second guy from, Rob, LeBron's always had a superstar next to him when he's won big. When he's been in the finals. The one year he's been there a couple times in Cleveland, his first go-round, without having a star beside him. Obviously, the Miami years, he was stacked. The Cleveland years, they had at least one star, if not 2, healthy when he was there, except that last year after the Kyrie trade. Kevin Love at that point wasn't really a star. But even the great LeBron James needed, and you see in L.A., Anthony Davis, needed that second guy with him. And so I think those are things, we need to look at when we look at Jokic's, up and down postseason runs. But this year, Rob, Jamal Murray's healthy. And make no mistake, Jokic is the reason that they are this far. Murray's been very good. He is very
it's
good
Jokic.
second
Everybody
guy.
knows it.
But it's Jokic, absolutely.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. And that's why, I was a little down on people. Chris, you were one of them that were saying, well, he hadn't done anything in the postseason yet. And I was like,
I didn't say that.
What?
I didn't say that he didn't do anything in the postseason.
Well, but the idea
my reason
about the historical part of it, but one of the things that I did say was that what if he wins the third one and then wins a championship? Like, we don't know the end of the story, which could happen. And then it's funny, the year that he didn't get the MVP, he actually winds up winning a championship. So I was just saying that the postseason is so hard to guess or take into consideration. It's supposed to be about the regular season. And I don't have a problem with Embiid winning, but I'm just saying, negating somebody, because Giannis kind of went through this when he lost to Miami. You remember, that year after, Giannis needs to go join the Heat. He'll never win in Miami. He'll never win in Milwaukee. He's got to get out of there. He's wasted his career. They don't have enough and all that. And then what do? Come back and win a championship.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't getting into an MVP discussion, but for me, my historical precedent with Jokic, or at least the historical element into my voting for Embiid, was that if you're going to win a third straight, then your season has to be like eons ahead of the other candidates. And I didn't think it was. I thought Embiid had a phenomenal year. He had better clutch numbers. Obviously, Giannis did his thing. And Jokic was right there, too. They were all very close. But that was my thing. Jokic would have had to be, far and away. It was just, look, it's undeniable. And I didn't think it was. So it wasn't about the playoffs for me. And to me, Rob, if he wins it this year, like say he wins the finals, I don't think that negates the MVP vote at all. I don't think people should look and say, "Oh my gosh, we blew it."
No, I didn't say that, but there were people talking about his postseason, and I just don't think that should factor into a regular season award. That's just me. It doesn't matter because we don't know what could happen. So to use that as a reason why you shouldn't vote for somebody I think is a mistake. That's just my point.
This guy, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because he's got a long way to go. He hasn't won anything.
He just playing great, but he didn't won anything.
Right. I'm thinking I might take winner of the. I mean, I've been with Golden State, so if they win this series against the Lakers, I'm sticking with them. And I'll probably pick the Lakers. Might go Lakers in the next round, but if they advance. But Rob, if he were to go on and win the championship, I mean, I don't know what there would be to say he's not the best in the world. He's not the defender that, Giannis and Embiid are. But rebounding is a defensive stat, certainly on the defensive end, and he's not like the best offensive rebounder. Most of his rebounds are on the defensive end, and that's big. That's a part of defense. So it's not like he's a minus for you on that side of the ball. But and if he does get to do what we just said, Rob, win a championship this year, then he will have had such a beating the Warriors would be big because they're the Warriors, but they don't have a great center that he'd have to go to. Now, he would have to solve Draymond Green, and that's big because Draymond, even though he's short, is a great defender, even against some bigs. But, Rob, if he were to go through Anthony Davis, you assuming he's not, like, dramatically outplayed, and he gives it to AD and then gets to the finals. I don't think neither of us thinks Embiid will be there. But if he were, now Embiid demolished him in the one regular season matchup. But it's one game, but Embiid was just killing him. But that would be a road that you would say, man, and Boston, if they get Boston, that's a great defensive team. You'd have to give him love. But the dude is phenomenal, and the way he does it, Rob, is so unique. Go ahead, because I got one more thing to say, but I want to.
Just KD had high praise for him, and I thought that was honorable, to give the guy love for how well he's played. Yeah, everybody doesn't do it, but I thought KD was. I thought that was good to see him just give the guy love.
But I wouldn't expect anything else though.
No, but people you don't. But you don't. Yeah, you don't have to say anything. You're not that you're. You don't have to. You don't.
You would look stupid not giving him.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm sure there have been guys who have just kind of what it is. I don't really want to get into raving about other players we lost. I'm upset.
Oh, okay, but not
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, not ripping them, but not giving them any love.
Okay. I think, Rob, too, and I'll be quick because we're going to get to some listeners. You always hear this, and I don't, the 80s, the 90s, they weren't athletic. They, honestly, Rob, if Jokic was getting busy like this in the 90s, people today would look at him and be like, you really think Jokic would be able to do that today? He can't jump. He can't run. You know what I mean? They would be saying that. Some people, I think that about Larry Bird. They might know he's so great you can't really say that publicly, but they looking at him like, really? He was killing cats.
Wearing those short shorts, right?
They look at it, and my point is, Rob, it's about skill. This shows you, yes, there's a certain degree. He's big, so he's got size. But
Luka's the same way, Chris. He's not like an athletic specimen or anything. Come in most years out of shape, overweight, and he's a player though.
Yep. That's just for all the young bucks that want to say, oh, guys weren't as athletic back then, or you see a guy that was a great player that wasn't incredibly athletic. Don't belittle him. This is a sign to you that there's ballers out there. You don't have to be the most athletic, but are you skilled? Are you a smart player? And that's what Nikola Jokic is. So we're going to throw it out to you.